Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. If you hear a fan in the background, like that, please don't get annoyed at it. Please instead look at it like a beautiful ASMR background noise. If I did not have this fan pointed at me right now, I would not even be able to sit in front of you with a ring light on. There is currently like a little heat wave going on in Brighton and it is unbearable. And keep in mind, I've stayed up so that I can film this without getting the heat wave, but it's still hot as balls in here. Anyways, hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. Okay. Tana mongeau and cody co. Tana mongeau and cody co. We talked about this, if you do not know, on Tana mongeau's podcast that she has with Brooke. It's called Cancelled. They went on a tour, and on the tour, they basically tell the audience not to record or post anything because they're going to be revealing a lot of stories that they basically don't want out there. It's like, you know, secret things, and it's an incentive to buy a ticket because you're going to hear stories that they wouldn't put on YouTube because of legal reasons, or maybe they just didn't want to like put it beside their name online or something like that, right? One of the stories that got leaked was that Tana gets asked like the smallest dick or like the worst dick that you've ever had, and she says Cody Co. And everyone worked it out, or she said at like what age she like slept with Cody Co or something. Tana mongeau basically slept with Cody Co when she was, I think, 17 years old. Why is my mom texting me? Oh, my mom's, she wanted me to book something. So let me look it up again. So Tana mongeau was 17 years old and Cody Co was 25 years old. Let me just double check this. Tana mongeau was 17 and he was 25. So obviously that is very morally wrong. And also people were saying things like, oh, like it's legal or whatever. I'm pretty sure the age in California is 18, but even if it was, say this is legal, say whatever, there's a huge power trip. We've talked about the problems with it. A 25-year-old should not be having relations with a 17-year-old. If you need that explained further, you're a problem within that. Like, a 25-year-old shouldn't even have that much in common to talk to a 17-year-old with, never mind have sex with them. Also, keep in mind, Cody Co had such a big platform, and it's really, really, really weird that this big famous creator, who is significantly older than Tana, Jesus, I'm so passionate I didn't even clock that my camera moved, would sleep with her. It's really fucked up, and it's been talked about behind the scenes for many, many, many years, but obviously not everyone is talking about it, and the clip went viral. You know, it was someone recording at the show. And now Tana mongeau has responded to the fact that it went viral. And, you know, it's went mainstream news. Cody Co has not responded. His entire subreddit is blocking and removing any mention of Tana's name. And I just think it's really disgusting and despicable. And again, if you're defending this, you are very weird and you're a problem within yourself. No 17-year-old should be attractive to a 15-year-old. You're in two very different stages of your life. It's very weird. It's very weird. Anyways, let's hear what Tana said about the fact that this clip ended up getting released and then went viral.
I have tried to film what I'm about to try to film like countless times now.
Okay.
I had Brooke sit through it, and I feel like she just, I'm sitting here talking about what I wanted to say, and this was Brooke the entire time. Like, I don't want to subject her to this, and that's why it was perfect timing. She is going to find Glenn, and I'm going to handle this without her for this one.
Okay. Do you want me to chime in and like give some...
Yeah, especially even with the beginning of this episode. I don't know what's happening in life right now with the universe. But
she never doesn't have that damn vape in her hand, and it's always that blue one. I feel like I've been like getting like exposure therapy too, because I kind of want to try the flavor now.
I'm learning a lesson once again that I've learned so many times about I can't just be saying shit. And I don't want to blame myself here for this.
I was about to say it's sad the fact that Tana is blaming herself here for the fact that this story got out. Whenever it's something that happened to her and she should have every right to talk about it. But I understand her saying, you know, the ramifications of talking about things. Maybe she just didn't want it out there. But it's sad that she is kind of villainizing herself a little bit for this story getting out there. And it all boils down to like protecting these men. So I'm glad she kind of like took back the apology.
But it's like I'm now in this position to have to address it because there I went again saying shit, you know, and it's just a classic case of I say something fleeting in the ways that I say something, and then it is taken very seriously because I'm usually trauma dumping and breadcrumbing with a giggle.
Yeah, and
right?
It usually is pretty serious, and we're just so flippant about it, and we'll just like talk some shit.
And that's always how I've just dealt with shit or made light of shit. Like I'm just the type of person who does say things in a very like flippant manner. And then it's like, oh fuck, no, nobody else is laughing.
Yeah.
Like even just in real life, I'll say some crazy shit and I'm like, ha ha, ha, and they're like,
Yeah,
are you
right.
good? You know, and it's just like, it's how I am. But we were on tour. We were saying a bunch of shit on stage in a bunch of different games. And we thought we could trust the people as we had the whole tour.
And by the way, the show that the video got released on was the California show, which I think strategically was placed at the end of the tour because you know that the people in that crowd in like an LA show would be recording and, you know, trying to make clips go viral. Because it's crazy that they went an entire tour around America without anything getting out. But the California show or the LA show, y'all leaked everything. And look what y'all have done.
Because it really was. Like at every other show, we were saying the craziest shit about people. And it wasn't being brought to light. And however, I understand that this isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime.
Yeah.
And I've tried to talk about this a million times and I feel like I never have the right words. But it's everywhere all over the internet and I know people want me to talk about it and I'm going to do my best right now, you know. I mean, I hooked up with Cody Ko when I was 17 and he was 25. Yeah, it happened. And I think that first of all, it's really I'm trying to think about it from a perspective of like a younger sister or someone that I really care about. Even the other day, like I was texting just about her life and everything.
They know to bleep that shit now.
Right now, and I thought to myself like,
But also, I'm pretty sure that, let me double check. I'm pretty sure Tana Mongeau is only the age now that Cody Ko was when he did that. Tana Mongeau has just turned 26. So, literally just turned because June 24. So basically, Tana Mongeau now is the age that Cody Ko was when he slept with her. That is even weirder within itself, that she only now is the age that he was when he slept with a 17-year-old Tana Mongeau. And they would film collab videos together like, oh.
before she was 18. And if something like that was happening to her, I would never let it fly.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It's honestly fucking disgusting. And I also think when you're that age, you think you know everything and you think you're way more mature than you actually are. And then from our age now, we can look at it in hindsight's 2020 and it's like, oh my God, you were a child.
Yes.
You were young.
I think a lot of things like that happened to me as well because I really did have to grow up severely at a really young age.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like by the time I was 16, I truly was just like, even when it came down to knowledge and wisdom and everything, I was a 21-year-old.
You were forced to grow up so early.
And because of that, a lot of shit ended up happening to me that probably...
But also, to further go on that point, yes, that may be true, but that's even worse that then the adult in the situation, Cody Ko, would take advantage of the fact that a 17-year-old Tana feels so mature. I wouldn't have put it past him to say to her, you're so mature for your age. That's what these weirdos say.
Shouldn't have happened, right?
Yeah.
And I think that I also have a really bad case of to be 100% truthful, when I look back at the Cody situation, I definitely am like, why was he doing that? You know what I mean? And there were so many situations. There was a situation with Gabby Hanna at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up. And I can look at that.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. So basically, Gabby Hanna getting involved and telling him in the moment she's 17, but that didn't stop him, and he goes and has sex with her. And especially at like a VidCon, did she say VidCon party? Like, it's like a work environment as well. This is so creepy.
Like,
What the
why
fuck?
the fuck were you doing that? But there isn't a part of me, at least at 25 now. I mean, I look back and I would never do anything like that. So I'm like,
Fuck
what
no.
the fuck was wrong with you?
Yeah.
But I don't associate or hold it with trauma because I am such a comparative person where I'm like, so many worse things have happened to me. And that's bad.
I was
And
just about to say you can't do that to yourself though.
like, but I genuinely feel that way. Like it feels like all of the other people I hooked up with when I was 18, whether they were 30 or whether they were not 30 and they were my age and they were whatever, like I was just in a place of life, especially the circles and world I was surrounded in Vegas and then coming to LA. Like those are, if you're in the wrong realms, those can be very sexual places.
Yeah.
And like, I was just hooking up with people and having so much fun. And like, that's the way my mind, because I grew up loving him. And I think you know what I mean? Like, I was just like excited and a fan.
So basically, again, he took advantage of the fact that a 17-year-old Tana Mongeau was a big fan of him. So basically, Cody Ko took advantage of a child fan. The child fan in this instance was Tana Mongeau, and it's fucking disgusting.
Fan and like, and I understand that that's where now as a grown adult you can say you were taken advantage of, but like, I don't feel any of the.
And listen, if Tana wants to sit here and say that she doesn't associate it with that because there's so many worse things that have happened to her in her life, which is such a sad way of having to think about this, that does not take away from the fact that Cody Ko, as a 25-year-old, was told she was 17, knew she was 17, was told it was a bad idea, whatever, knew she was a big fan, and he did that because he's the problem.
Those emotions towards it. So that's why it's like, it's much easier to be like, go crucify someone when you feel those emotions.
Of course.
You know?
And I mean, whether or not you feel like that now, and I mean, at the time too, even though you felt way more mature than you act, like than your age, you were 17, like even.
Like, this shouldn't be a conversation of the now, grown up 17-year-old being like, well, maybe I just was mature. They shouldn't have been put in a position where they have to decide whether or not they are mature enough to sleep with a 25-year-old.
You felt grown and everything. Like, and you didn't, at that time, it's like you don't really know what you're doing and like you don't really think it's wrong. But again, it's like he was 25. He should have fucking known better.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's like, I think where I settle on that. And it's like, it is really interesting to me because I have my feelings towards it, right? And like I'm expressing those right now. And I said that on stage very much so as just I was being jokey about it and whatever, right? And it's almost like the public's reaction to this has made me feel 10 different types of ways that I didn't feel before. Like, I've seen so many comments of people like on some like, but what was she wearing shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On some like, well, it's Tana Mongeau. And like, isn't that crazy?
That's so
like,
Again, why is everything boiled? This goes to show how fucked up everyone is. Why are we boiling down to the things and questions about the 17-year-old and scenarios? It should be, she was 17. Now you put everything onto the 25-year-old.
Fucked up.
Because I really like, you know how I feel towards it, but now seeing all of these people like not believe me and say, well, what if she's lying or she's this and she's that and she's dramatic? First of all, there's nothing, I would never lie about that. Like, I'm not going to put an allegation on anyone, like, ever like that, obviously. But then I just, like, I feel so bad for all of these young girls because then they see that and then it makes them not want to come forward. And then I am like, wow, fuck everyone.
Yeah.
Like, seeing people not believe you is so crazy.
That's fucking awful.
Like,
and
I'm grateful that I'm the type of person that I don't let things like that discourage me, but it just makes me feel so sad for so many people that aren't like that, you know?
I actually think this is a really great way of talking about this, and I really respect her for this, because her opening up this conversation and saying, well, there's people that don't believe me, but I'm not going to let them do that, but I want to talk about it because I want if there's people out there, don't be discouraged or don't whatever. I really respect her having this conversation. She didn't have to have it. Yet again, we're seeing another instance of someone who was, put in a wrong position, have to be the brave one, or have to be the good one, or have to be the mature one. Like, what the fuck is wrong?
Definitely.
Like, and how much people love him. Like,
I know.
It makes me feel so sorry for any real victims of people that are really fucking loved by people, because
they still get, at the end of the day, they get their platform. He's gonna be just fine. He's posted up in a fucking mansion.
Well, and just
his life
even
is gonna
just
go on.
in my day-to-day life, like, it's like, I know for a fact if you swapped out Cody Ko with someone that like people didn't like that much, I would be receiving so much more sympathy versus like.
And that is so true, because I've been seeing so many people discounting Tana's story, because they're like, well, Cody's a good guy. Do you fucking know him? She's making such a good point that if it was a disliked creator, she came out and spoke about someone that was really cancelable and hated and stuff, people would be the first to jump to be like, fuck him. But because it's Cody Ko and people really like him, no one's talking about it.
Amount of
And
people
you know what I mean?
in this industry who like want to protect him and are like talking to me in a way where it's like they, you know what I mean? Like, or even just friends like, but I love him. Like, you know what I mean? The thing is like, I still watch his videos. Like, I do think he's really funny. And like, it is this weird thing of like, it would be easier and harder, or it would be easier and less hard if he was like
easily hateable.
Yes.
Like already just.
Yes. And that makes me sad for other people in a situation like mine. Again, like where it's like, because I feel fine. And I would want to just like.
But I also think you feel fine because you've had so much time now to like cope with that. And I don't know if you've unpacked that like in the past or if you're just starting to like do that now.
The vape smoke coming in is crazy.
Like, I hate saying this because again, if it was someone else or if it was a different scenario, but it's like, even if I try to unpack it to the fullest extent,
you're not.
All I get to is like, I was having fun.
Yeah.
At the time. Like, I don't associate it with any trauma. It just was. But I think that is because of the life I've led.
Yeah.
But also, even if she didn't associate it with trauma, it's still a very, very, very wrong thing that happened, and he's in the wrong. You know what I mean?
And the thing, like, just worse things happening to me, and also just how I was living at 18.
Which is
like
sad.
It's just really sad the way she's talking here.
But it's so sad, too, because I don't want you to, like, downplay something like that. Like, it's really fucking serious.
And I'm really, like...
I know. But I'm saying, like, even, like, to yourself, like, not even... while filming or whatever, but like being in your room, like sitting with yourself and like thinking and being like, oh, well, I've had way worse shit happen. So like it diminishes this thing. It's also really sad to like think of it that way. Like, I don't want you to, you know what I'm saying?
I just think I've always been like that in everything. Like I know what real trauma feels like.
100%.
And that's like, those things are real trauma to me. And then everything else is just kind of life and flippant. And I am that kind of like person, you know what I mean? And like, I don't know. Because, like, if I really were to sit here and be like, I don't know how to put this without, because I'm not trying to diminish anyone else's anything and anything else. Like,
no,
you know?
of course not. And this
like,
is your own experience,
but if I were to sit here and be like, I'm a victim and this was so horrible and oh my God, I'm so traumatized and oh my God, like whatever, like I don't feel that way. But then I just know it was wrong and he was wrong.
Yeah. And I also think if you...
And again, that's fine. Like the story can, you know, stay at that. It can be that Tana doesn't see this as, you know, to herself, you know, that big of a thing, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he did something really wrong. And I just want to clarify again, hold on. Age of consent, California. Okay, so he also did something illegal. Like he literally did something illegal as well, because you have to be 18. So even if Tana doesn't find it, you know, that big of an impacting thing in her life, what he did was illegal. He slept with a child. He slept with a minor.
You did sit here and you said all that, then it is just kind of discrediting people who really do feel like that.
Yeah.
Because then it's like you're making it into something that it's not for yourself, if that makes sense. I don't know. I think the whole situation's fucked up. And it's sad, too, because I was a fan of him. Like, I would watch his videos. Are you kidding? I would, like, order my Postmates and watch his videos. And now it's, like, I can't, like, look at him. It's weird. And, like, knowing, like, that happened to you and stuff. Again, not that it was, like, you're sitting here saying, like, it wasn't super traumatic. But still, it's just weird
I can
and
just
it's
objectively
wrong.
know that it's
exactly.
very wrong.
Even if you don't feel, like, traumatized by it, it's still just objectively wrong. And
illegal.
Shitty for that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, it is just crazy. And I think that, it really, like, the most traumatizing thing of all of this really was seeing how many people, like, don't believe people or don't believe me. Or, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's just crazy to me. Like...
It's really fucked up and sad.
Like, it's sad the world that we live in, that people don't just, you know, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And I just think about, like, Kelsey and the baby and whatever. There was...
Oh, my God.
Like, there was a while ago where I think I said something about it online and it was starting to surface. And he texted me, like, are we good? And was like... And, like, I said, yeah. And, like, he was like, my wedding's coming up, like, yada, yada, yada. And I was like...
Fuck.
And then now it's, like, all these Reddit threads. Like, if my name's on any thread, it's all getting deleted.
It's also just really crazy at the fact that he would reach out to her after she had mentioned something that she has every right to talk about and kind of, like, guilt tripping away by saying, well, my wedding's coming up. I have a baby. Like, it's so... Again, is trying to force the person who was wronged to be the mature one. Also, it's super manipulative to reach out to her whenever she started talking about it.
It's just a weird fucking fucked up situation.
That is
where
oh my
it's
God.
like, and I just feel like if I said it on stage, I now have to sit here and like explain myself, and I kind of just wish I didn't, because it's like,
what's sad is I don't think you have to sit here and explain yourself. I think he has to sit there and explain himself.
yeah. But I mean, either he's gonna deny it or admit to it. Like, there's no real like further. And like, I'm not seeking an apology. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know.
Damn. I'm sorry, T. Like. Not even for like that, but like that, like you're dealing with all this shit right now, especially when it happened so long ago. For it to resurface like at a point so much further in your life and so much further in his is so crazy. Like I can't even imagine, like,
because like we were filming crazy YouTube videos at the time as well, and it's not like like at the time people were just like shipping us and shit, like, you know what I mean, like,
yeah.
So it to happen like so much later in time is like interesting.
I wonder too if that's because like when your fans were watching, like they were also young and like your age or younger, so it's like they didn't realize either. But now that like you've grown up and everyone who like
yeah, because the way that she loved Cody Co, her audience loved Cody Co, and if they didn't when she made the video, then they did after the video was posted. And it's just, it always needs to be talked about, people that abuse their power. And he did here. He abused the fact that he was a bigger, huge YouTuber, sorry, and that he knew it was wrong. Gabby Hanna, of all people, told him it was wrong and said the age, and he still chose to sleep with her. And again, Tana saying that she doesn't seek an apology, that's fine. But the fact that his entire community are blocking and banning anyone talking about this is super fucked up. You did something illegal and wrong, and it has to do with minors, and you suck. You suck. I don't care if you have a good guy act or people love you, like you fucking did it.
And like now they can look back and think and like recognize what that was. You know?
Like it wasn't just him. You know what I mean? And there's other people where I was like 17 for sure. But then further than that, it's like there were so many people when I was 18, 19, and 20 that came flocking. You know what I mean? And now I see those same people doing it to other people who are 18, 19, and 20.
It's so gross.
And there is a part of me that's like, it's not just him, it's the whole fucking industry and the whole world. Like, and that's like where it's.
And again, that shouldn't be an excuse for these people to get off the hook. Well, everyone does it. You know what I mean?
I feel sad that it is all just kind of on just him when like the problem was so much greater than that. And like there are just some real fucking groomers and awful people walking the streets.
Yeah.
You know, like it's, I don't know. I'll save it for the book.
All right, here's my thing. I know that Tana obviously felt very uncomfortable having to talk about this and probably regrets heavily bringing it up. I kind of really admire the fact that in bringing up this story, she kind of doubled down on her true feelings, which is that she doesn't look at it that deep, or it isn't trauma to her. It is sad the reason she doesn't think it's trauma, but the fact then that she turned the conversation, which she didn't have to, into, you know, if someone doesn't believe you, or how scary it is for people to speak up, and what I really respected that, because there's 900,000 people that have watched this podcast episode. Unfortunately, there's probably a lot of people in that have gone through very similar things, and to have a voice of someone talking about something happening to them, unfortunately, specifically someone they admire, it is a very, 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 it can be a healing or a start of a healing journey for a lot of people in a really interesting way. And also the fact that Tana was then doubling down on, well, don't feel scared to speak up, because people will believe you and they won't believe you, but that doesn't take away from your story. I really admire her angle here. And fuck Cody Co. And fuck Cody Co. Muckers, let me know your opinion. I really like how she handled this. And again, it's not on her to handle it well or not, but I'm just saying, like, this is very admirable how she talked about this. And again, people who've, you know, were having sex with 25-year-old, like whenever she was 17, shouldn't be the one that has to act mature now. Fuck Cody Co. All right, I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.